The strength of a man is in the heart and nowhere else. In the heart, you see? And the heart is not afraid to be broken, cut, pierced, blown up. That's the man of the heart.
I had a very difficult period, which lasted for at least 2 years. I was always always had a very burning desire to know the truth. And, well, I was looking for it in probably the wrong places. Where I, in my late teens, I dabbled with some substances and messed me up pretty bad. It really messed me up, my nervous system. And I could feel that, that ahamkaric field, that auric field, or was out of whack very much. And like holes, right? And, well, I walked around like that in the world, and it felt like my soul was ripped from my body, kind of, and feeling like I was falling through the cracks of the world, of the earth, not being able to, not having any foundation, like going insane. That's what it felt like, going crazy. And at some point, I felt like I really had to know now, because I was suffering so much. I had to know what life is. And so then I come to that part that I told you in the last retreat, that I just had that fire going, and that self-inquiry came, and at some point that stabilized, right? That experience that I'm having now, that one of infinity, boundlessness. And I feel like that was beneficial in a way, but also not, because I was witnessing everything and still without having a good foundation. And that's still unfolding, of course. But I feel like during that time I developed all these strategies to keep stuff out, because I felt so invaded all the time. So I'm still having trouble with this mechanism of keeping stuff out at a distance. But I don't want that. I want to fully connect and immerse, feel alive in the world. So my question is, how do I go further? Do I need to work on this foundation. I mean, you talked about the ojas, and I feel like that was a breadcrumb. I feel like you've been leaving breadcrumbs all around. What do I need? What do I do? How do I go further? And
what do you think that you need? What do you feel, rather, with with all that you've shared now?
mm-hmm.
You know, and it's just to reconfirm and reassure you that all of us go through these phases, so you know, these rough phases. So, like I smoked pot as well, calibratingly, very good pot. You know,
From Holland or
huh?
from Holland or from the Netherlands or Dutch pot?
No, from Afghanistan.
Huh?
From Afghanistan.
Okay.
The pot.
The best.
So, and you know, everything else. So this is what we do this in youth, you know, and I was in a very, very environment in art college, you know. So where all that is much more, the tendency towards all this experimentation is much higher.
Yeah.
It's like you're surrounded by everyone everyone thinks that they are rock and roll, you know. So you have to, and if you're rock and roll, you rock and roll. Otherwise, you're not a rock and roll. So this is very familiar to me. I intimately understand that. See, I could, of course, say things are true. Like there was also always sense of discrimination. What is what? You know. So that was the safety valve. You know, because I knew what I really want, and this was just a side activity maybe too. I've had these experiences with the stuff that I realized that you can't replicate these experiences, so you need to move to something else. So what is it that you're asking right now? Or rather, what you're asking right now, right? What, you know, where do I go from here? I simply want to hear from you. What do you feel that you need? What do you feel? I understand that you want to be more open. You don't want to have these closed-in boundaries. You want to feel safe, and at the very same time, you want to be able to come out from that place where you can relate and connect and feel this sense of, without being violated, pushed, or invaded. This every relationship, like every counselor will tell you, right? That people who go through the relationship, which messes them up temporarily, particularly early relationships, which prompts us to close in because we opened up, we were giving ourselves to that relationship, and then something happens and we feel hurt. So it's like this complex, then, like, can I love again? Because I don't think I can. You see that, like this self-declaration that because I feel not safe, I feel I will be violated, so therefore. So I want you to understand how common that is, how utterly and entirely common that is. See, so this commonality of that will also be helpful for you to feel that in that you're not alone. See, so could you just give me just whatever that you feel, more sense. Doesn't have to be rational, logical, crisp, clear. What do you think that you need for that?
I feel that I can I feel like I can actually just go for it. Trust myself and
Yes, exactly. It's fairly straightforward, fairly simple.
Actually.
Yeah. And there's no guarantee that you would not feel some repercussions of, right? Like this. Life will have its way with us anyway. This is the nature of life. It has a kind of tendency to deliver in such a way that we, no matter how much we prepare, no matter how much we may want to cushion the impact, have insurance policy, life has a knack to go around it and show us that, if I want to teach you something, if life has if life can say anything, right? It will just say, if I want to teach you something, don't even try. You'll learn that anyway. I'll deliver it. You want to play with me? So that's where maybe we can take it from when we had these exchanges in Vienna. So you have to forge yourself out of yourself. That forge yourself. See, you have to be able to simultaneously retain this tenderness that I sense is there in you, whilst at the same time also being able to be someone who can receive blows. And doesn't matter how heavy these blows, how below the belt sometimes, you took that, This is between, it's like you're a man and I'm a man. And I'm just saying that frankly, outside of non-dual dialogue, tantra, just straightforward talk, you see? So at some point you would have to show up, show your face, and show you what you're made of. Know that you'll be knocked down, knocked off your feet, put in situations where your character will be tested. If your character will be not tested, you will never know your character. The more opportunities there to actually go through that test, the more we are forged into something. That's what I mean, forged. See? Forged. Heated, bended into cold water. Again, heated to the molten red, bended into cold water. Many, many, many times. See? So you want to embody that. Now, like we can spice it up. We can just like throw that spice there, that divine masculine. And the divine masculine is that which cuts through all this. It's capable. It has that quality, whilst at the same time, soft heart, tender, soft. So what you're asking, what you communicating to me here, you're communicating to me here that I want to be a spiritual warrior. I'm a born a warrior, okay? Doesn't matter what your background. You're a warrior. Sarmat, Scyth, Viking, a freaking samurai. Everything else is discarded. You see? Just because we live in this age when everything becomes fluffy doesn't mean anything. Just because we don't carry swords anymore, when cowardness is on a street, everywhere, in every corner. No. You came here for that. Whatever the self-realization, whatever we drew here is one thing or another. Something attracted you to come here. And sometimes, I could be wrong, but some guys like you, when they come for that. So this is why I don't want to beat about the bush and kind of like, I'll give you a secret mantra to, we're just going to go around it. No. So, where do I begin? With what? With squats? With push-ups? Keeping healthy body is it's your responsibility. It goes without saying. But keeping your spirit upright, that's what we're talking about. The strength of a man is in the heart and nowhere else. In the heart, you see? And the heart is not afraid to be broken, cut, pierced, blown up. That's the man of the heart. Why? Tell me why. Sense it into it. Why? Because his heart is a void. It's uncleavable. He already gave that heart to the world. Deliberately, so it's broken, smashed. It doesn't mean that he lives heartless, on the contrary. We all crooked. We all went through something. We all hear this and that. You see? And there's no other power to rise above this other than that what we can generate within. So, in that respect, you're in the right place. Stick around for a little while. And when you feel like you can walk away, we don't even need to say goodbye to each other. That's how it works. You might write me a nice note. I'll cherish it. Okay? That's what I mean, you see? There is a rite of passage. I don't need to put a sword now and knight you. But I can, in a different way. Just as I, at some point, was initiated by someone. So all that nonsense is blown out of my head. And clarity installed instead. And one guidance given, integrity. Live by integrity, man. So when you take your last breath, you're not hankering for anything, not regretting nothing. But you can't live life in integrity unless you are prepared to bite the dust. Bite the fucking dust. So, that's all I can tell you, Bart, right now. It's all within you. So, Sir Bart, rise.
I want to be a warrior.
You are. That's what I just said. You are.
I am a warrior.
Exactly.
Thank you. I will hold those words in my heart. And I will try to live, I will live by that.